And we're back in the Jim Miller for President Sports program, shifting back around to the NFL now with some weekend previews for all the games.
All right, I'm excited about this. Here's what we're going to do. I was thinking about coming up with a fancy name, but every name that I came up with, actual shows that people actually watched, had stolen them. Or had been using them, and I was going to steal something. But you know what?
Yeah,
I don't want to defame any of the lovely sports news outlets that actually exist.
So this is now just our NFL weekend preview.
Which everyone calls it that, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so generic name.
All right, here's what I want to do, Tim. We'll go game by game, and I believe we have 16 games today, because no one's on a bye week, so that means 32 teams, 2 teams playing a game, that's 16.
Yeah, got a lot of rivalry games.
All of them play on Sunday. They did that on purpose.
Right.
Every game is a divisional game the last week of the season because they don't want people resting their players. They thought there would be more meaningful games if there were rivalry games. Yeah. And they were right because you have...
got to compete with college and everything, right?
Because as opposed to having no meaningful games last week, you have 3 meaningful games. Yep. In the Bears, the Packers, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and... just for fun. Probably the Giants and the Redskins, because it's all for that last wildcard spot in the NFC. 3 teams, 1 spot. If Green Bay wins, they're in. Enough scenario crap. We did enough of that on Tuesday. Let's go game by game. Some of these games suck. I'm not going to lie to you, and this is one of them. Panthers-Falcons. We're going to do all the storylines and all the games, and then we're going to go and we're going to pick games against the spread. We're going Vegas style.
Ooh.
So that's exciting. But first, the storylines of every game. Tim tells you what it is, and then I give a somewhat thoughtful opinion.
All right, the storyline.
The storyline on Falcons-Panthers.
The Falcons can't wait for the playoffs to begin. The Panthers can't wait to find out for sure which underclassmen quarterbacks will declare for the draft.
I thought it would be a little more newsy than that. I should have read these before I made you read them, because these are all going to be really corny and cheesy. Courtesy.
We're just to get you pumped for the game.
We're just going to the game preview portion of NFL.com. So, and all these things suck. I mean, really, basically what it means is the Falcons don't care, but if they win this game, they get the first seed. And the Panthers really don't care because their head coach is leaving. John Fox, he said it this week. He's like, dude, I'm out. My contract's up. This team sucks. I'm leaving. And I wouldn't doubt him. I don't want to be would you want to be in North Carolina for too long?
No. I would not.
Well, I'm gonna go coach the Giants because Tom Coughlin's gonna get canned. And the Panthers, they do have that chance of the quarterback we were talking about in the last segment, Andrew Luck. If he comes out early, they got the first pick.
Yeah.
Suddenly, your running backs get healthy next year, and Andrew Luck comes in, and suddenly you've got a franchise quarterback in a running game, as opposed to not having a franchise quarterback and your 4th-string running back playing is what they're doing right now.
We could see a playoff contender forming in Carolina.
They're going to get better quickly if Andrew Luck comes in and they get healthy, which they will.
Yeah.
Because when D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart come back, good things are going to happen just like they did in 08 and 09. So this is going to be exciting. This storyline section sucks. I'm going to make you read all of them anyway.
Okay.
Let's go to Cincinnati and Baltimore. This is going to be a somewhat interesting game. If the Ravens win it, and then the Steelers lose, suddenly the Ravens are the division champs. All right, it's just one line, just one little sentence. Go right ahead.
The Steelers slip up and the Ravens take care of business. Baltimore snags the AFC North title.
I just said that. I said, if the Ravens win and the Steelers lose, suddenly the Ravens are in the division. And then you read if the Steelers slip up and the Ravens take care of business, Baltimore snags the AFC North title. There you go. It's the exact same thing.
All right. Wraps up in a nice little package.
Yeah, very nice and very concise because...
Double knotted.
Why did we take so long on the first game? Why do we always do that? We start out, it takes forever, and then it slowly starts to get faster as we go along. Let's go to Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Interesting because...
another rivalry.
You know what? I might say what the storyline is, so I don't want to do that. Just let Tim read it.
A year ago, the Browns with Brady Quinn at quarterback. What happened to him? They no less were
the quarterback in Denver.
They knocked their hated rivals from the playoffs with a big Thursday night victory. Can they knock the Steelers from the AFC North title again this time around?
Well, you never know. Colt McCoy is the quarterback.
Yeah, another quarterback for the Browns. So.
But Colt McCoy, he was great at Texas. He was one of the all-time great quarterbacks in the history of Texas football. No. This is a different Steelers team. Yeah. They've got a bigger edge to them. There's no Super Bowl hangover this year. And it's pretty easy not to have a Super Bowl hangover when you don't win the Super Bowl. Or you're not even in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, no problem. Steelers get into the playoffs, and they're looking for their 3rd ring in 6 seasons. That's exciting. Let's go to one of the paycheck games.
All right.
Where just the players are playing for paychecks, and nothing else matters. If I could use the English language, I would say things without repeating them. Vikings-Lions. Ouch. That hurts.
Can't wait to read this exciting story.
Oh, look, it involves Brett Favre.
Brett Favre's potential final appearance in an NFL Euro. See,
Both of us are doing it.
I've had a
This is the worst show we've had in like a year and a half.
An NFL urine. Okay. Yeah, no.
Uniform.
Uniform, yes. He might make his final appearance, yes. Is sure to obscure and dwarf the interesting little story the Lions have become. Yes.
Well, the Lions, they do have a little interestingness to them. Yeah. Sean Hill.
Just a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, but you know what? They're getting better.
They are.
A ton of young talent.
It's like the Panthers situation, right?
Yeah, a good young coach in Jim Schwartz, and Matthew Stafford was out all year with a shoulder injury again. We talked about this just privately. Matthew Stafford is slowly turning into Tim Couch. All the talent in the world. Tim Couch wasn't bad. He just had no one around him and got hurt all the time.
Right.
If Stafford can somehow stay upright, he is the best quarterback under 25 in the NFL. And he's probably not under 25 for too much longer, considering he's coming up on his 3rd year in the league, and he hasn't even taken 16 starts yet, and he's been the day one starter. If he can stay healthy, the Lions are really good. I think they've got a shot at a playoff berth, considering Minnesota's starting to get worse. Green Bay and Chicago are probably going to stay where they are for next year.
Yeah.
So Detroit's got a shot to make the playoffs next year. Watch out. You heard it here on this crappy show first. Okay, so paycheck game. From one paycheck game to another, the Chiefs, who already clinched the playoffs, against the Raiders, who are just playing for pride. I love that term. Aren't you playing for pride every week?
Oh, yeah. But
whatever. This is a longer storyline. For such a bad game, it's a longer storyline. Go right ahead.
All right. Only the Raiders could potentially go 6-0 within their division with a win at Arrowhead Stadium and miss the playoffs. Raise your hand if you had the Chiefs in position to rest starters in Week 17 with a division crowd already secured.
No. I didn't. I don't think you did.
All our listeners out there raising their hands, no?
All 5 of you?
Yeah. The people who happen to stumble across this somehow.
Yeah, because I tagged it to Cute Kittens.
No, this isn't it. Let's get out of here.
That's not a cute kitten. Okay. But, wow, that's great, isn't it? They could go 6-0. The Raiders could go 6-0 within their division and miss the playoffs.
And not winning.
And that's because if they were 6-0, they were 2-6, and the rest of the 2-8. Yeah, they were 2-8 against the rest of the league.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So they're winning games in the division, which is good. And if they can just start beating up on the rest of the league, they're a viable option. Watch out, the Raiders-Chiefs rivalry from the days of John Madden and Hank Stram is coming back. And this time, it's another fat coach against another skinny, short, happy coach. Todd Haley versus Tom Cable. It could be exciting. Al Davis, on his deathbed, is smiling. I don't know if he's on his deathbed. I assume he's very sickly. What is he, like 300 years old at this point? All right, let's go to another paycheck game.
Well, we got a few paycheck games shaping up.
All of them are paycheck games.
Well, in a few years, these might be meaningful games.
Miami, New England. Go ahead, read the storyline.
All right. Will Bill Belichick do what most coaches do and rest as many key guys as possible with the top seed wrapped up, or will he turn what might be the final game of the Tony Soprano era into another lopsided blowout?
It's not Tony Soprano. We're not watching The Sopranos. It's Sperano.
Oh, Sperano. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Looked like an O. I'm sorry.
I know. This is really small text.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to... He never rests players.
Yeah.
Ever.
No.
I think they're going to come out, and I think they're going to just do what they do and get to 14-2.
Tom Brady's got to wrap up
I think this will be the second time they've been 14-2 under Bill Belichick. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And most teams never go 14-2.
Yeah, right.
And he's done it twice in a decade. So, hey, Patriots are just going to keep being the Patriots. I wouldn't sit anyone if I was them. Tom Brady's hot. Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's keep this thing rolling. Let's keep this thing rolling. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Not a paycheck game. It's meaningful. for a variety of reasons. And the storyline is short. Because it's a meaningful game, the storyline is short.
The reigning Super Bowl champions against the little engine that could. If the Buccaneers win and get some help, they could still get into the playoffs.
They need a lot of help. It's in New Orleans. I think they're going to have a problem in New Orleans. The Superdome's going to be... I don't know if the Superdome's going to be rocking. Well, it is the last time that they are going to see their beloved New Orleans Saints for this season, unless they have another parade, which, actually that could happen if Drew Brees gets hot. I could easily see them in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
So, this is going to be a fun game. I think this is going to be closer than people think, and you'll see. Are we even going to get to the picks in this segment? Christ, no, we're not. We're not even going to finish the storyline. Jets and Bills. Storyline, go.
The Jets essentially back into the playoffs for the second straight season. They need a little something to feel good about right now.
The Jets have a foot fetish problem.
Other than that.
The Jets have a foot fetish problem, and the Bills are a disaster. This game sucks. Let's move on. San Diego, Denver. If the computer would load, go ahead.
Tebow Mania continues against the Chargers. The Broncos coaching search begins about 5 minutes after this game ends.
I was a little... I missed on Tim Tebow a little bit. I thought he was going to be the next Ryan Leaf. It just turns out he's going to be just a tad better than that. He's playing okay, but from what I've heard, he's playing the offense like he's a 2-year-old. They're spoon-feeding him the offense. Once things get more complex, he's going to have issues. All right, game of the week, Bears-Packers, and then we have to take a break.
All right, let's see how long this storyline is.
Wow.
Hey, wow.
It's the biggest game of the weekend, so it's going to have a big chunk of text. Go ahead.
All right. So the NFC North is not at stake, as it looked to be for much of the season, but the Bears are pushing to secure a first-round bye, something they covet. They love nothing more than to keep the Packers out of the postseason in this heated rivalry. If Green Bay wins, it secures the final NFC wildcard spot.
We broke this one down before. You heard everything that needs to be said about this game. Next time you hear about it, we'll be picking it. Are we out of time? Yeah, we're pretty close to out of time. We're going to take a break. We'll wrap up the storylines and pick the games in the next segment.
This is the Jim Miller for President Sports Program.
BWC, Internet Media.